Darius is like,
no,
now,
Darius, we can't hear you.
No. If you speak, Darius.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah,
Now we
we
can.
can hear.
Yeah.
Now that you've said it, instead of writing on a bit of paper.
Just like, what was that
Listen,
music?
dick. It wasn't me. It was obviously Mooch again trying to gaslight me with his internet.
What was that? So we are gas bombing up.
Okay, I don't know how to do it. You just have to show me how to do this.
This is, honestly, it'll change your life. Probably.
It's great.
Yeah. So like if the gentleman you were talking about, if he had a couple of these in him,
He wouldn't be such a pussy.
exactly, he wouldn't be a shell of a man.
So I looked at him. I thought, I will never be the old dude with the dogs everywhere with him.
Yeah. Here you are.
Here I am. But he's a rock and roll dog. He's got a huge cock. I mean,
Has Genghis got a huge cock?
Dude, have you not seen Genghis? I'm sure I've shown you Genghis's cock before.
Well, he's right. You don't need to get it on your phone.
No. You'd have to. Dude, he's a shower. He's a grower, not a shower.
Well, look, I could. We've got waste. We could get some dog porn on.
Anyway, let's see Genghis's cock.
Okay, this is him with his wank towel, right? Bear in mind,
What do you call it? A wagtail?
Wank towel.
Wank tail.
Wank towel.
Wank
Hang
towel.
dry or something.
I heard tail.
I'm going to speak BBC English constantly now, just to make sure you understand every.
So he
fucking
humps
word I
a
say.
towel.
Yeah, well, yeah. He's got his one towel. When I used to have my,
I got my one sock.
I had another address once that I was gallivanting between the two in Wales, where he had a black towel. That was his mistress. But you give him a towel, he knows it's his towel. He won't fuck anything else. If you leave something else on the floor, he won't.
So you got to be careful when you put the towels in your house.
Right, so that's him with his wank towel.
Oh my God!
Thank you very much.
It doesn't even look real. It looks like somebody's put some maracas next to
Can
that
you
dog.
show that to this camera there?
Yeah,
But it is.
that's Todd Sharpville's dog's cock. there.
Wow, that's a doggy
little guy,
grinder
a
picture.
little guy who's supremely hung. So he's Genghis.
I don't think we've had a guest on who's shown us their dog's cock before.
Before the
so
gas
quickly.
bomb. Yeah.
Anyway, should we start?
Yeah.
All right. Welcome to the Free Speech Podcast. I'm here. I'm Leo Kearse. I'm the what am I called? What does he call me?
The
Mr. Hate
controlled
Speech.
opposition.
Controlled opposition. Remember to take your vaccine and get boosted. And I'm joined by the Vanilla Gorilla.
Yes,
Or Gorilla Vanilla,
We
Mr.
say
Mooch.
it wrong every time. Yes.
And special guest today, Todd Sharpville, the blues musician who's played with Clapton. You had a #1 blues album and all sorts of stuff. Man, I read your CV on Wikipedia, and you're like a Viscount or something as well.
You've
No,
also
my dad
forgot-
was a Viscount. My brother's a Viscount.
But you're something, aren't you?
Well, I'm an honourable just because I'm the younger.
Honourable.
I'm the youngest son.
Right.
You know, so I'm an honourable instead of a mister.
All right. So
But that's all I get out of the deal.
Well, still, so you're an aristocrat and a blues man. You're played with all the greats and stuff. Used to put together the touring bands for blues musicians when they came over to Europe and stuff.
Yeah.
And you've been cancelled. Not
In many ways.
not completely. Your dog's got a massive cock.
Yeah, you've forgotten to introduce the wonderful Genghis.
And we've got Genghis.
Who will be putting in a little bit more than Nico.
well,
normally.
he's a bit subdued at the moment.
Yeah, that's fine. The person who normally sits there is exactly the same. So.
The Ron Jeremy of the dog world.
He is the Ron Jeremy.
Looks small, slightly crumpled, but
less allegations, I think.
yeah. Anyway.
Ron Jeremy is in prison now for.
No, we lay in bed the other night and watched the documentary.
Is he actually in prison?
No, he's been in jail for 2 years whilst waiting, effectively
so
on
on
remand,
remand.
whilst he's waiting for the trial
Right, geez.
after being arraigned.
And so he's been arrested for basically all this stuff. I mean, it must be quite an easy trial. I assume it's like some sort of sex assault allegation.
Yeah.
Because he filmed a lot of it. So I guess it would be easy to prove.
He filmed a lot of it, but no, that was his professional work. I mean, what went on behind closed doors?
Yeah.
Well, it's one of them
Anyone's
ones you don't
guess.
really know what's going on. So.
Or in car parks.
We don't
The ones I've
know.
seen.
Although what does worry me is the tendency to assume that, of course, it
Well, yeah.
we and that doesn't demean the victims if they were being victims. And
Yeah.
but I grew up in the old days when you were innocent till proven guilty, and then you have a case and evidence would be presented, and then someone would make a decision, and then we could vilify them.
Yeah, and have fun vilifying them. But people can't wait these days. Everybody's got ADHD. They want vilification now, right now. He's a witch, burn him.
What was the Coronation star who had that flight was falsely accused, wasn't he?
And there's Craig Charles as well. Or is that who you're talking about?
Who I met just when he got out of jail.
No way.
We both did a TV show the same day.
Were you on the way in and he was coming in?
No. There's this thing called the James Whale Show on ITV.
Yeah.
Catch a Fly.
Yeah.
And both they used to pretend it was a Friday or a Saturday night show that was live, and it wasn't. They pre-record it in Soho and do two episodes the same day. So he was the guest on the prior episode, and I was the band on the next one. Yeah, we had a jolly old time in the green room. But he was incarcerated on the back of a rape allegation, date rape allegation. He was remanded whilst waiting for the laboratory evidence to come. And in those days, I don't know, it was maybe one little guy one boffin in the corner on his own.
Yeah.
But it took
months.
Something like
I remember
that.
he was in jail for months.
You know, and it turned out, of course, that the DNA or whatever it was they were examining completely vindicated him.
Yeah.
By that point, his career was dead. He'd been vilified.
Well, he's in jail as well.
He'd been burned as a witch.
Being held. But he did, he sort of resurrected his career after that.
Yeah.
Because I think he was on Coronation Street after that, and he was definitely working as a DJ for the BBC. He's probably actually, even if he'd been found guilty, he'd be one of their least checkered DJs.
BBC.
It's like, wow, yeah, at least he wasn't doing kids. You know what I mean?
Look, I would still feel awful if I was him, because he was at the height of the heights.
Yeah,
Red Dwarf was so big at the time.
Yeah.
He was as big as he could possibly be at that point, and he was about to go into the stratosphere.
Yeah.
This was all going to happen for him. I think another thing that happened was...
And it's such a horrible accusation for somebody.
Well, it turned out that the person who'd accused him had been done for perjury for a similar accusation before, but they couldn't introduce that as evidence in the case legally.
No way! But surely that's showing like precedent for that kind of thing.
We've had plenty of incidences in the past that have shown us why we're supposed to be innocent until proven guilty.
Yeah.
That's it. I mean, it shouldn't be any more complicated than, well, this is we've all been accused of doing things we've not done. Every single one of us.
Yeah.
You know? And even if it's a minority case where the guy turns out to be innocent in these cases, who cares? I mean, the system's set up to avoid incarcerating any more people who are innocent than is necessary.
There was a lot of that in comedy. A list went around that me and Mooch were on. But so is this list? But you know what? Like comedy is like now. This is during lockdown when comedians, all live comedy went away. Everybody's livelihoods went away. So the comedy community really rallied round to support each other by accusing each other of sexual assault. And so these people were making these lists, but a lot of it was just like. If anybody had a vendetta, if somebody didn't like someone, they'd just stick them on the list. They'd be like, oh yeah, you should add this person to the list. So it became, and then this happens a lot under the Nazi regime. A lot of the people who got sent to concentration camps for being bad citizens or whatever were just like, it was neighbour grudges. Mm-hmm. Like neighbours would have a grudge and they'd just like dob them into the authorities, and the authorities would cart them away. Which is why we have this thing of innocent until proven guilty, because otherwise it's open to abuse. But man, this list that me and Mooch were on, and it wasn't like this guy jumped out of a tree with a knife in his teeth. It was like this guy told jokes that made people feel uncomfortable or whatever. And it's like, yeah, that's what I was trying to do. You know what I mean? That's not a crime. This is, made Facebook posts that made someone feel uncomfortable. It's like, fuck me, like grow up here. But the list that went around was written in Comic Sans. I mean, of all the fonts for like allegedly, these men are dangerous. It's
that was the joke.
Don't do it in Impact or at least Arial, like something with some credibility.
Helvetica Nu.
That's
a serious font.
Sans serif.
Yeah.
You wanted more gravitas.
Yeah.
Yeah, not a Comic Sans. Like it's some sort of like vicar announcing a village fete, pinning it to all like rainbow colours, like fucking avoid these men.
Should we do these gash bombs?
Let's do gash bombs.
Show me how to do a gash bomb.
Yeah.
All right.
This is a powdered substance that we don't know what's in it, but we know it's gone out of date.
It's nice. Oh yeah, not a little bit out of date.
But it's we assume it's kind of like a whiskey. Like if it's aged for 5 or 10 years, I don't know. Whiskey probably needs to be a bit longer.
And if you have enough of it, you piss yourself.
Yeah.
So what you do is you chuck the powder in your mouth, and it fizzes up, and then you do the shot. Mm-hmm. And the shot washes over all the powder while it's fizzing up, and then you swallow it all, and it feels great.
Okay.
Yeah.
Am I supposed to make a wish?
Yeah, sure.
Let's make a wish.
That's a great
wish.
tradition that we should. Oh,
Yeah.
fucking hell.
Well, my missus is Irish. She makes a wish over every possible drinking situation.
Yeah, your wife is an Irish redhead, which is...
She's not my wife. I'm his fiance. Should say. I'm his fiance.
Are we allowed to say what the wish is, or does that?
No, because then
no.
wishes don't work if
They
you say
don't
them
come
out loud.
true if you tell someone.
Yeah. Also, you got to salute magpies.
Yeah, I've started doing that. I don't know why. I've never really been superstitious, but that's really nice with the gin.
Wow.
That's really nice.
I wasn't expecting that. I thought gin would be horrible. I thought cheap Sainsbury's gin and a gash bomb would be horrible.
I think maybe the gash bomb, this stuff takes the edge off the cheap gin.
Because it's got the fruity, whatchamacallit, like lemony, zesty thing. It's like what you'd have with gin. So if anybody's doing gash bombs at home, gin.
This is starting a nationwide craze.
Yeah.
People have sent us in videos of them finding the shit and doing it.
It's lucky I'm not one of the many blues musicians who's just come out of rehab.
So you've never...
And you're just taking me off the
So
wagon.
you've never been in rehab because your new album, just quick plug for the new album here, called Medication Time.
Don't forget the plug.
Don't know if you can see it. Maybe if I put it on this camera.
If I go, if I go to that one, turn it, angle it.
It's so bright.
It's very bright. Look.
I'll give it some shit.
Is there a picture online I can bring up? I'll just do that.
They're
Oh, there we go.
yeah, it sort of look. But you're like in a straitjacket there, and it's called Medication Time, which suggests you like a bit of medication
Well,
at certain times.
18 years ago, I spent a couple of months in a mental hospital
Oh, nice.
and found myself many years later writing songs about what led to the experience itself, and what's taken me from there to here.
Um,
So it's kind of.
Was there anything in particular that made you like go to the mental hospital?
It was on the back of a divorce. Wasn't the divorce itself, which we all go through breakups in life. It was the bit the guys don't talk to each other about much, which is the surprise when there's an automatic system that kicks into place, where you're expected to be McDonald's dad on a weekend, and you're given, a certain amount of a couple of days or every fortnight when you've been around the entire time and you're that bonded with your kids.
And all of a sudden you're not seeing your kids during the week. It's just like...
It was a father's rights thing, lots of legal... It took 3 months before I could, because there was a waiting list to get into court. So I was living literally 5 minutes away from the kids and unable to see them. And they wanted to see me. And, all the trauma that goes with this stuff when people try and take advantage of a system that's created on the back of social... what happens in the social majority of the time, and therefore we create a precedent, and then everyone else who doesn't conform to that precedent is chucked under the bus.
Yeah.
It's interesting because, Leo and I are both recently married and recently becoming fathers.
Yeah.
So this is something we're probably going to have to deal with soon.
I'm not condemning all your relationships. to
No,
shit.
it's destined.
I married a barrister, so if it goes tits up, I'm screwed.
But it's one of these things that as the world changes, the legal system hasn't really sort of come up to speed with things like this. Whereas there is a bit more of equality amongst the sexes now, but like very much with the with the sort of divorce settlements and sort of who takes custody of kids, it's still such an archaic sort of.
It's the assumptions that mums are always the ones fulfilling a certain kind of role.
Yeah.
Which, especially in rural locations, if much of the time guys are happy to disappear into the ether and then women start again with the kids.
Yeah.
That kind of
because in the old days, like you'd get absent fathers who'd like go. There's a sort of trope that the dad goes to the shops to get a packet of fags and never comes back, kind of thing.
Yeah.
My granddad, he went out to buy a newspaper and didn't come back for 6 months.
Right, no way. And now, of course, men can't do that.
We didn't have Google Maps back then. So you could get
now we got Facebook and all that, so like you could just like see. Oh wait, no, he's in Birmingham.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Whereas you couldn't before there was anonymity.
Yeah.
So there's loads of stuff that you could do in the 70s and 80s and 90s that you just can't do now.
Before then, and it's kind of, I understand the laws protecting women, around that, but things have changed and the laws seem to have been sort of stuck, and it's not as look, everyone wants equality, or some people want equality, but it seems to
Andrew
be
Tate doesn't want equality.
I mean, real equality means doing what they do in Norway, which is where a couple break up, and there's a 50-50 presumption that you both have the equal, not just rights to being with the kids, but equal responsibility.
Yeah.
And then if you want any more or less, then you go to court.
Yeah.
And it's just that, you know. Anyway, it took me by surprise. I completely had a total breakdown. I was a control freak who suddenly realized I had no control over anything.
Yeah.
Which is a facet of life that happens to everyone. Where none of us have any control.
Was it amicable?
No, God, no.
Oh, right.
No, it was. Well, someone's trying to prise your kids away from you when you're that close with them, and that much of a feature in their lives.
Yeah.
I was doing lots of the mum roles because I'm a musician. You know, my schedule allowed me to do that. So to suddenly be prized out of their lives and expected just to bugger off while she started again was, you know, it's.
And having it. So did she have a new fella?
Who I introduced to her.
Oh, fuck. This seems to happen a lot with musicians. Like, what's his name? George Harrison was dating somebody, and then who was it? It was somebody in the Stones.
You're not talking about Eric Clapton.
Eric Clapton
marrying George Harrison's wife.
Yes, that's what I'm talking about.
Wasn't just some chick he was saying. I mean,
Yeah.
it was George Harrison's missus.
Yeah.
Oh, that was one of the big love affairs of all time in the music annals of music history.
Yeah.
You know, that's what he wrote Layla to woo her.
Right, no way. Was she called Layla?
No.
Well, you should have put her fucking name in it.
Layla was an Indian
fucking dumbass.
You know, she was an Indian princess who was in a similar situation in some famous old fable. I'm sorry, I don't mean fable. Might have been some religious schniz. I don't know.
Yeah.
But
I don't know how many Hindus are listening, so I don't know how upset they'll be. But if you are,
I'm not having someone else throw a fucking boot at me for well intentionally putting my foot in it. And, you know.
Yeah.
But anyway, but that's different. He wrote Layla. I mean,
Yeah.
If you can write a song like that,
Did this guy?
then you can steal a man's
then
wife.
you can steal a man's woman.
Did this guy like steal your wife, or did he?
No.
It was afterwards.
No, and we shouldn't go into that because there's all kinds of litigious schniz that can come from it.
Yeah.
But the bottom line was I wasn't prepared for the emotional impact
Yeah.
of all this stuff. And they're the kind of things that guys don't talk to each other about.
Yeah.
You know, people like to talk today about men's mental health issues and thrown around as a selling point for radio discussions and TV discussions, and at least women like to do it. And but in truth, I mean, we get together, we talk shit, we talk about football, we talk about naughty things.
Yeah.
But we don't very rarely get
Talk
under
about good fun stuff.
good fun stuff.
Yeah.
We
Jet
don't-
skis.
And testicular cancer and divorce are not really
There you go.
on that.
There you go. But certain things.
we did give Darius pretty sincere advice about how to like make sure he could hold on to his wife.
Yeah, you've got it good. Please don't ruin this.
Yeah.
Because your mental breakdown is really not what we need for the podcast.
Yeah.
Actually, that'd be some great Patreon episodes.
Oh yeah, maybe we should engineer
Darius
his marriage
phoning
failing.
up his divorce lawyer and trying to.
How many lawyers has Darius got? So he's going to have, because he's getting sued by his PR. He's getting sued by another comedian who stole his joke. And now then he'll have a divorce lawyer as well. It's like he is like a one man. And he's managing to fund all of those lawyers from like I don't know what he'd fund it from.
I'd say he's about to become huge if he's got all that shit going on. if your own PR is suing you.
Yeah,
I don't know.
that's from years ago. So like,
Oh, is it?
yeah, there's this PR.
Still trying to give him publicity.
Yeah. Well, there's this PR called Mel Brown, and she charges comedians like it's thousands of pounds to do PR for the Edinburgh Fringe. But then she just gets like, you know, a few reviews or whatever that you could just, if you just went to the reviewer and said, listen, if I give you 20 quid when you fucking review my show, and they'd be like, yeah, sure, because they're all broke as well. And then like she takes like, I'm not joking, like 40 acts. She takes 40 acts on, so she's getting like, you know, like big money. And she just sort of focuses on the ones that start, you know, popping on, because PR is a sort of almost a bit of a nonsense at the moment, especially that style of PR. I think with somebody like, who's the guy that I went with, Julian, he got me stuff that you got money for. So like I'd get an article that I wrote myself in The Sun and get like 500 quid for it. So already that's like almost paying towards my PR and stuff. But yeah, the whole like traditional model of like, you know, trying to get
PR
reviews.
is just, it's just, when it goes well, it's great.
Yeah.
But the majority of the time, it's absolute bullshit.
And it's kind of pointless as well, because like, you know, now you sort of get big and you sort of get your contact with your fans and stuff on social media, so you don't need the PR trying to get you and get.
Is that the same in music, or is it?
It depends what you're doing. One facet of PR that's always been the same, which is where it was characterized beautifully by Jennifer Saunders as Eddie in Absolutely Fabulous.
Yeah.
Is that most PR, I'm certainly in the music world, most PR companies will have a few big names which they use as hooks, as worms on hooks to reel in everyone else who actually needs some PR.
Right.
And the big names are kind of easy to PR.
Yeah, because people want to read about.
If you've got a superstar on your books and you're saying, they got a new project out with every mainstream facet of the media wants to do something.
Yeah.
So they're the easy jobs, but they don't pay their bills. No. They're the ones who are there specifically to use as worms on hooks to reel everyone else in. Who needs a bit of PR, and all they'll do is drink champagne, get pissed and fall over, and have a good time at your expense, and you're paying for their fun lifestyle. Yeah,
and that's what was happening with Darius. So he was like, "Well, wait a minute," like because she added on all these expenses, and he was like, "Well, fine, but show me the receipts." And obviously, you know, a lot of that may have just gone up someone's nose. So you don't get a receipt for that. So there's no receipts forthcoming.
You ought
that
to.
should be like tax deductible. But there's no receipts, so Darius, well, I'm not paying the expenses. So that's why there's and it's for like 660 quid or something.
And she's taken him to court for that.
Yeah.
All these years, talk about petty.
Yeah.
She can't be doing too well.
If you're Mel Brown, and you're like arguing with Darius on 660 quid. You need to look at your life.
It's not good PR for yourself.
No.
If you're a PR and you're doing that.
Over something that's technically quite valid.
Yeah.
Like, okay, cool, these are expenses. Show me the receipts.
Yeah.
I mean, admittedly, look, whenever Darius is in an argument, I automatically take the other person's side.
Yeah.
Like, it's just natural. Have you met Darius?
Of course. Yes.
So I'm sorry.
And I love him dearly. But this sounds like there's more to this. I mean, this sounds like these kind of grudges. There's normally a bit of romance involved somewhere under the surface.
Yeah. Darius sucked her dick.
Someone fancies someone.
Yeah. There's always an undercurrent of sexual chemistry.
Yeah. Anyway, so all
I
of
can
this
feel it
is
in the room right now.
So all of that is how I ended up in a nut house, and how I ended up making this album that we're currently promoting.
And so when you went into what's the actual thing?
I can bring it up on
like
screen.
when you have when you got section. How did you actually? What was the actual?
I wasn't sectioned. I was given a choice at the time, which was either you're going to come into the hospital and stay here as long as we need you.
Yeah.
And then we'll tell you when to go.
And how did they know? Like, were you running down the street naked with a plant pot in your head?
I was suicidal and kind of.
Right,
I completely.
Not a fun breakdown then.
No, I'd gotten drunk. I'd crashed my car purposely into a brick wall at high speed.
Jesus.
All kinds of stuff.
The old George Michael.
That was Snappy Snaps.
Possibly. It was a shit car.
Right. What sort of car was it? Because the car, I've been in your car. It's a really cool car.
Yeah, my current car is all right.
Yeah.
But no, it was an old Rover.
Right.
The bad year.
Good British car.
Well, but it wasn't.
A bad British car.
We've not made a car in this country for generations.
Yeah.
Morgan is the only remaining British car
What
company.
about Aston Martin?
No, they got
owned by another company.
What about Jaguar?
Bentley is owned by Volkswagen.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. No, I mean we don't make British cars anymore.
Yeah.
All the car companies are owned by foreign companies.
Right.
Except for Morgan.
Right.
Good old family business.
Right. I didn't know Morgan were still going.
They absolutely are.
Right. So
Big ups to Morgan.
you crashed into this brick wall.
Anyway, look, I'm not going to go into the ins and outs.
Well, you went in and out of the wall.
Basically, I had a meltdown.
Right.
And it was, I was told categorically that I was to go to hospital, hang there for as long as they needed me, and then I could leave. And if I try to do it any other way, that they'd section me. So they said we'll section you,
right.
and then this will impact on you seeing your kids and all of that stuff. Which obviously, that was.
Of course, yes. So that's going to be a big incentive.
Yeah,
so that was my incentive to stay and do what I was told.
Darius is dialing in, by the way. He's going to join us halfway through this.
He is
this chat. So like, what, like, was this an NHS hospital, or was this a...
It was.
private?
No, it was all NHS. Look, just because I'm posh doesn't mean that with poshness comes cash. Which is old, it's an old stereotype. The aristocracy lost most of their money generations ago because it was in farming that's what kept those big estates.
Right,
And farming died a death a long time ago.
Yeah.
So, when we're sold the idea that, every aristocrat has a trust fund, and 99%, almost everyone that I know who's posh, from old bloodline families.
Yeah.
And
So you get a title, but you don't get the...
Yeah, I mean, my granddad blew everything on sex, drugs, and rock and roll.
Right, nice.
My dad had to leave school. Invested. My dad had to leave school at 16. He was the first generation to not be sent off for a posh education at Eton and all this.
Right, yeah. Did you go to like a posh school?
I did. I went to a Catholic posh school because my mum's Chilean, so my dad converted to marry my mum. Downside in Somerset, Downside, Ampleforth, and Stonyhurst are kind of the Catholic versions, but they're a lot more rock and roll than the traditional, institutional.
How are Catholics' private schools more rock and roll?
Because you got more to rebel against at an early age.
I suppose, yeah.
Straight away. I mean, before you've even gone to school, you've been brought up with all kinds of things that are telling you that you should deny yourself this and deny yourself that. And the first thing you want to do when you hit your teens is stop denying yourself.
Yeah.
So you got more. There's more of an explosion. I don't know how to.
Yeah, you kind of see that with like segregated schools, all boys and all girls,
Sure.
and
And we were an all-boys school and an all-Catholic, but being brought up by Benedictine monks.
Yeah, and girls who went to Catholic school always seem to be more wild.
Slag.
So we used to hook up with them regularly. I mean, it was,
Well, we've got Darius here. Darius, can you hear us?
I can hear you.
Nope.
I
Darius?
can hear you. Yeah. Can you hear me?
the wonders of modern technology.
Yeah. He's got all the gear, but no idea. Oh, he's disappeared. Fantastic.
Take him off.
Cool.
I was actually playing with a punk band through most of my late teens at this expensive boarding school, which, bearing in mind, my dad didn't get the opportunity of having an education, had to leave school at 16.
Right, because your granddad had lost all the money.
Lost
and
everything.
stuff.
So my dad was had a very valid chip on his shoulder about not being educated.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, because whatever chip like a sort of working class person might have on their shoulder, if you're from aristocracy, and then your dad loses all the money.
1,500 years.
Yeah, 1,500 years of castles and shit like that.
You're
And
the
then all
first
of a sudden, you're the
generation.
first one. Fuck, you'd be pissed off.
So look, I mean, he did well for himself, but he started off pretty much as a T-boy with a small stockbroking firm.
Right. And did he work his way up?
And worked his way up bit by bit over years and years and years, and then started to make cash finally in the 70s, in the late 70s when higher rate income tax was at 90%.
Oh,
thanks
fuck,
to
so
the
it was
Labour
all
government
getting
at the time.
taken off him.
It was all taken off him, so he can actually enjoy any of his own money until maybe the mid-80s.
Yeah, so a lot of musicians have written about that as well, because like the Kinks, Sunday afternoon, the tax man's taken all my dough. That's about the ridiculous high levels of taxation. And the Beatles, Taxman, one of their greatest songs. It's about
one of George Harrison's classics. The Stones left the country because of it.
Yeah. Well, Oliver Reed was told he should leave the country, and he stayed in the country because he didn't want to leave. Maybe he's just too drunk to get to the airport. But he had to pay like this ridiculous amount. I mean, 90%, 95% tax is kind of ridiculous. I think anything above 50% is kind of just nonsense.
We had a culturally, I mean, there's this Keynesianism or I don't know, whatever the word is. Post-war, it was understandable that we'd had 2 world wars in a row.
Yeah, so we need to stimulate the economy.
We had to just plow and print money and do what we could. But by the mid 70s, our output had come down to a total standstill.
Yeah.
And we were just entering the foreign markets as well. So we had to compete against other countries.
Yeah.
At that point, that old school style of socialism, I would argue, would have been insane. And that's what gave birth to Thatcherism in the 80s, and suddenly working class, everyday Joe down the everyday pub was actually making some cash.
Yeah. Which is why she was so popular, because people could make some money and keep it, which is what people want. And a lot of people managed to buy I know a lot of working class people whose parents, bought their houses and love Thatcher for the fact that they could buy their council house.
Yeah, well, they sold up in the East End, moved to Essex.
Yeah.
I I mean, obviously there were mistakes. I would look back and think. Looking at the situation with the mines that were closed up north, you can't keep mines alive if they're not making you any money. You're trying to enter a foreign market and somehow compete.
But I do think that all that, people are like, oh my God, Thatcher closed down the mines. Like you'd fucking work in a mine. You know what I mean? Like any of these fucking latte sipping fucking MacBook, no offense, Mooch. But, any of these people would what actually work in a mine for minimum wage.
But
it's gonna fall in your fucking head. You're getting emphysema and black lung. You know what I mean? Rats running up your fucking trousers, having to play in a brass band at the weekend. No, people want cushy jobs above ground, titting about on Facebook.
Yeah, but the thing is when you've got a community that's done the same job that your dad did and your granddad did and your great-granddad
you
did.
want change.
You might want change.
Can we just wait a second? So Darius is like,
no,
now,
Darius, we can't hear you.
No, if you speak, Darius.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, we can hear. Now that you've said it, instead of writing on a bit of paper.
Just what was that
Listen,
music?
you dick fucks. It wasn't me. It was obviously Mooch again trying to gaslight me with his shit internet.
What was that?
This was you.
He's right above Genghis's head.
It's not. We've actually got a brand new computer, so we can do.
Yeah, we got a new computer.
All of the stuff that we wanted to do.
Hey, wait. First of all, let me just. Hello, Todd. Nice to hear you.
Right, Darius. Nice to see you again.
How much soggy biscuit did you play on your Catholic board?
We didn't, though. We did have wanking competitions when we were 13.
Competitions.
Did your dog win with its massive? Really? But man, this is one of my jizz has never really gone that far. That is
nothing gay about having a wanking competition.
I don't know if the intricacies form a basis of a conversation, but just
So how far could you make your jizz go?
I can't remember. I was too out of my face at the time. I was really overly the top.
There's some in there already.
Yeah, I'm gonna make it more.
I was insanely over the top at that age.
Wait, so
Like,
were you winning?
I was shagging a school cleaner and borrowing a car off her and driving illegally. What's his name? The only one who wasn't like an old lady with a blue rinse called Marge or Vera. Sit there on the bed smoking cigarettes, chain smoking, talking about how
he's lovely. He is. Oh, I love him. Oh, he's nice.
So she was the young one who we'd all go quiet when she'd walk into a room while we were smoking cigarettes and drinking coffee.
Lift your feet while she goes.
And then when she'd leave
Hoover.
after cleaning the room, we'd and then I couldn't tell anyone that I was actually seeing her because she'd lost her job.
Oh yeah. What? How old were you?
14, 15.
Oh fuck yeah! She'd have totally lost her job.
She was like 25, 26.
And the thing is, man, people say because this is the thing. Woo! This is the thing about like teachers. When people say, "Oh my god, there's such double standards." Like if a 40-year-old male teacher has sex with a 14-year-old female pupil, that's disgusting. But if it's the other way round, then it's obviously fucking different. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's just obviously fucking for some reason. I don't even know what it is, but it's different.
Okay, I've never said this publicly before, but I lost my virginity at 13. To a friend of mine's mom while on a sleepover.
Holy shit.
But it wasn't a nice. I mean, she kind of plied me with alcohol, and she was a nurse.
What the fuck?
Who allowed me to my own designs to her Librium cabinet and Valium drawer.
What the? This is pretty sinister.
And it was different. It's different when you drug and drink sex 14-year-old, 13-year-old.
Yeah.
So that's. I mean, I'm sure that's subconsciously it's taken me years to get over.
Did you tell your friend?
I fucked your mum.
No, but he found out.
How? Well, did he walk in?
Because it turns out his
again, mum.
His big sister, who was visiting with her boyfriend, who was 33 or 34 at the time, had seen her coming into my bedroom and leaving my bedroom. To abuse me, effectively. I mean, I was 13-year-old.
You say it's different, but then you think about, okay, what if it was my son? And the girl was ugly.
Yeah, if she's ugly,
then we understand it.
Then
suddenly
that's a crime against nature.
And then suddenly you get it.
Come on.
Yeah. Whereas everyone's got the image in their head of,
And was there when your mate found out that you'd pumped his mum, even though it wasn't like
he kept quiet, but the boyfriend of her eldest daughter kind of blamed me. I remember being pinned up against the wall outside a pub.
What the fuck?
Yeah. Yeah. So there we go.
You motherfucker.
What's officially? I'm officially a privileged white male
Yeah.
because I'm an honourable, a poor honourable. So, yeah, age 13, I was being victim blamed back then. We're talking 1983.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah. Wake up, people. I mean, this shit, has been around a long time.
Yeah.
But it doesn't just swing one way.
Yeah. Maybe that's why she wanted on it.
We wouldn't be joking about this if I
didn't have a sense of humour.
No.
And that's the point. We wouldn't be joking about this if I didn't have a sense of humour. I wasn't able to look back at
even if you
stuff.
didn't, we would still be joking about it. But if
So
you
you should be.
No, if it was the opposite way around, and it was you were a female and someone's dad. We would. There was no way in hell we would be joking about this.
That'd be the most sinister thing. Like plying a 13-year-old girl with drink and fucking like Librium or whatever, Quaaludes or whatever, like and like then going in and
total date rape.
Like fuck, that's Bill Cosby. Like worse than Bill Cosby.
I didn't feel good about it the next day. I just thought, oh no, ugly, creepy old mum.
Oh, she wasn't even fit.
No.
What were the Quaaludes like?
But was she fit?
But the drugs were great because she was a nurse. She had a whole.
What did the Quaaludes do? What were they like?
It wasn't a Quaaludes. It was Librium,
NHS.
Librium Valium mixed with whatever else I was doing at the time because I was a messed up teenager.
That's quite a bit.
Librium?
It's dissociative, I think.
It's Librium.
Oh yeah, what is that?
It's made out of books. But was she? Because I mean, she wasn't fit by your 13-year-old standards. But would she be fit looking at her now?
Now she's awful.
No,
because my standards never dropped as I got older. I mean, I don't know if
as you get older.
Can we? What's her name on Facebook? We'll let the audience decide.
Once again, this is like a lawsuit waiting to happen. So
I think you're the plaintiff in this.
Yeah, but I think I've learned to let it go.
But I heard some wisdom. In fact, it might have been your mate that told me, Darius. I heard some wisdom that was like when you're young, like only some women look fit. But as you get older, more and more of them look fit.
Yeah, your standards drop.
And eventually all of them look fit.
I'm sorry, I don't understand this perspective at all.
There's a.
I would say my missus at the moment is probably fitter than.
Yeah, no, she's definitely fit.
I think you're saying there's.
You're saying I just perceive it that way, whereas I know that my missus is very fit.
You can see
So's yours.
beauty in anyone when you're desperate. It's kind of like the older you get.
I think it's the idea that you get more desperate as you get older.
I don't think it's desperation. I think I was just assuming. Recalibrate. But the another way of putting it. So Mick Nevin, there's this Australian comedian, and he says. So he used to go out on like there's grab a granny nights, and like him and his mates when they're like 18 or 19 or whatever, they go out to nightclubs and it's like grab a granny, and they're like, oh, she's so fucking old, she's so disgusted, shagged her, shagged her, and it's like, man, those women were like 30.
No, I
thought that'd be funnier, but nobody laughed.
I went because
I was just misogynist. Maybe Mick delivers it better.
I'm laughing. I thought it was
Darius
funny.
is laughing. Darius thought it was funny.
I'm laughing. I think.
Thank you for being misogynist, Darius.
Yeah, I am misogynist.
I broke up with a missus at uni, and we went out, and it was one of those cool Friday nights, local night, and I pulled a lady called Bernadette.
Nobody's young that's called Bernadette.
Yeah, exactly. It was just kind of like, I was like, oh, what do you think? And she's like, she's quite old. It's like, she's not that old. She's like, what's her name? Bernadette. And all
Hilda.
my mates just pissed themselves. Ethel, yeah. There's certain names that sort of like literally do age you as you know.
Hyacinth.
Yeah.
Rose.
I wonder what Bernadette's up to now. Gashhole.
That's not a name.
Darius, yeah.
And
actually, Bernadette runs both ways. I mean, how many Bernards do you know who are
running?
Hip.
Bernard Cribbins, probably almost dead. Or
I don't know who that is.
Bernard Turkey.
No,
does anyone know a metrosexual Bernard?
No.
Actually, what
I bet it'll come back as a hipster name. You know how they like old typewriters and shit?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But what's happened to Bernard Matthews? Why has he gone quiet?
Oh, he's old.
About him yeah, but remember he used to be there everywhere on TV, and his turkey drummers. In
the adverts.
But he got old.
Yeah.
He developed a turkey neck.
Joyce Reed.
Oh, he's also dead. He died in 2010.
Oh,
did he?
fuck, that'll be why.
Well, that'd
That's
explain it.
probably the main reason.
Yeah, gets the best of us.
You still get Bernard Matthews products in the supermarket, though. I've
Yeah,
seen
yeah.
them.
I think the bro, like, yeah, it's kind of like Heinz. I
haven't
believe
seen
he's
him.
dead.
Oh, right. Is the Heinz guy dead?
I'm assuming. I'm assuming he's the
Jeez.
guy.
It's the curse of food.
Why
Everybody
has Heinz
involved
ketchup
with-
got 57 varieties, but no one's ever tried 56? Number 56
I'll tell you-
Heinz ketchup.
I'll tell you what. Like, there's
It's the same as the gender debate.
it's got 57 times more expensive. Heinz and other things. Oh, I noticed I got a packet of fucking McCain's oven chips.
Oh, Scotland, like complaining about the price or something. Here we go.
It was nearly £4.
Oven chips for £4.
700
Well, you know-
grams, not even a kilo. 700. They were
Well,
the
you know-
fancy ones, but still nearly £4.
I don't think there's any fancy oven chips.
McCain oven
Well,
chips.
you know-
They were the gastro. They were fucking amazing. to be honest.
Gastro oven chips.
They were gastro, triple fried, triple
Oh,
cooked,
fair enough.
and they were very nice.
Put them in
But
an air- Have you put them in an air fryer before?
you can't because the fat drips off them. So I think you got to cook them in a bacon tray.
No, air fryer is the way. It's amazing.
Top,
Really?
Makes
top
them taste really
podcasting.
good, yeah.
What's
Three
good
Space
about
podcast. Oven chips.
what's good about air fryers?
Air fryer is great because it deep fries your food without the thing, and it makes
An
it
air
nice and
fryer is a
crisp.
fast oven. That's it.
Yeah, how can it fucking deep fry if it's not deep frying?
Because it was small and
Science,
it circulates
dickhead.
the air so fast.
Yeah,
that it
but they
makes
don't
it deep
fry.
fried.
Nothing fries in fucking air. It fries in
Anyway,
oil.
Listen, your £4 fucking chips, and I warned you about this. This happened because of the Russian Ukrainian. Oh, we should defend Western liberal values. Now we're paying
Yeah,
£4
we should.
for oven chips. Even the electricity people have come out and said the British public shouldn't be subsidising the Ukrainian war.
Yeah, we should.
No,
We should.
shouldn't.
It's
Well, fucking
basically
pay
it's the
£4
same.
for oven chips then.
It's a fucking ideological thing. Like, do you want?
Yeah, but
like,
I
do
don't
you want?
care. I'd rather have ideological
you don't-
in my pocket than pay.
You don't care because you're a jihadist.
Yeah, that's right, I am.
But no, this is
Out of your ass.
it's an ideological thing.
He's got that killer look in his
front-
eyes. Look.
He looks
front
like a
line.
jihadist. Like, look at it. He looks like
Just
he's
over the-
looks
inside
like
a
he's
cave.
wearing a
the mic.
hijab.
He looks like he's wearing an orange top from
No, don't
Guantanamo
smile.
Bay.
Look as sinister as you can when you
He
say
looks
that.
quite sexy like that. Oh, who's that sexy lady?
There we go.
Oh, it's got a beard and
There
a
we go.
chin.
But like, man, no, the food
Hattie
companies,
D.
the food companies are just trying to screw us. They're trying.
Everyone
They start
companies are trying to screw you.
Yeah, but they're actually succeeding in screwing us. So I respect Tesco because they went toe to toe with Heinz and said, listen, we're taking your shit off the shelves if you're going to put the price up so much. And then Heinz had to take the price down for Tesco.
The truth is we're screwing ourselves by allowing a society that's preordained by people we largely en masse disagree with, who at the end of the day don't facilitate our needs in any regard whatsoever. And yet we acquiesce to all this stuff as long as we look good on Facebook or Instagram or whatever the fuck.
It's true. And because you've been at the sharp end of cancel culture.
Yeah. So how did
I think you've probably been at a sharper end of it
Yeah,
than I
yeah.
have, you know. But we
Why
all.
were
But
you
the point.
cancelled?
I've been cancelled in many different ways. The reality of cancel culture is less overt than it is for you guys in the comedy business.
Yeah, it's a bit more of a sort of shadow banning.
It's
from
a
the
subtle
industry.
shadow. There's a lady who I meet every day amongst all the other dog walkers in the park when I'm taking Genghis down to his local park, who works for a business that's subcontracted to most of the councils in North London. And she's expected to put her pronouns at the end of every email. And if she doesn't, she won't get fired officially, but she's certainly not going to make her way up the business. And it's all and all of this sort of stuff's been made for, you know.
Because that pronoun in emails thing is not there's no actual, it's not a useful thing. Like everybody knows, like if you're like, my name's Mooch, my pronouns are he, him. I know from looking at you because you look like a bloke. If Darius said, my pronouns are he, him, all right, it might be a bit more valuable. But you know what I mean? It's not something that conveys any useful information. It's just a tribal marker. It's saying, like, look, I'm in the woke tribe. I do the pronoun thing. I've got the LGBTQ flag with the triangle in it. It's just I wear a face mask. It's the same.
Aren't I lovely and progressive because I care about other people?
Yeah.
And unlike you lot who don't care about anyone.
Yeah.
It's this. But point, regardless, If you're going to lose your job, or you're not going to get promoted on the back of the fact you're not prepared to do it, or you might have an issue with it, or you might have been, one of those staunch feminist fighters who fought for equal rights who now wants to enjoy some of those equal rights without being stereotyped or thought of as being a woman first and foremost and a person first and foremost. Instead, all of that's irrelevant. Doesn't matter. If you're not prepared to virtue signal with the rest of us, then you clearly are against us and you hate the whole premise, and you're going to be, you're a turf and you're nasty. And,
The ideology of it is good. I get that. Like if you want to be, but it's the fact that if you're not of the same ideology, then there's an issue. And that's where the issue comes in with it. Because I have no problem with someone saying, cool, all right, I'm Ziza, whatever. Like I will call you by whatever you want to be called. And I think the majority.
I won't.
I know, but we're talking about.
Listen, no, I won't. I'll call you he, her, or she or her. But if you're trying to come out to me and say, "Hey, my pronouns are Z or Zem," I ain't calling
no,
you.
I'm.
But get the fuck out of my face. No way I'm going to refer to anyone as Zom, Zim, Zam. Nah, I'm not. Go take your fucking.
Yeah, look, internally, I might.
Fuck off.
Internally, I might feel the same on many an occasion. But if someone's polite and they're friendly and they seem nice, I like to be left to my own devices to decide whether I want to be polite or not. If we're going to be polite, you want other people to feel good about themselves. But we're not encouraging politeness by forcing politeness. That's not how it works.
It's compelled speech rather than free speech.
It's that Jordan Peterson thing. It's I have no problem with if you feel better about yourself, and I know you're going to feel better about yourself by me treating you a certain way. Then odds are, because I'm polite, I might do that because I'm not Darius.
Darius, have you ever considered being polite?
Shit. No, you're talking shit, right? Listen,
but I love Darius for this because he's the yin to the yang.
I'm not there. Let me speak. Listen, if someone comes up to me, they can be polite as they like, and they say, "Listen, I'm a cat person, and my fucking pronouns are meow this, meow that." I'm not going to indulge them. I'm not indulging you if you're ZZ. You can, fair enough if you identify.
I disagree. I know several people who've come up to you and said they're comedians, and I know we all know they're not fucking comedians, and you treat them as other.
But they're not asking
names.
They're not asking me to call them common.
Anushka Rava.
Actually, she unfollowed me on something on Instagram because I'd said something that was horrifically offensive or something. I can't remember what it was.
She's a great networker, but it's not more.
I'm a great networker.
You can use pronouns, but this neo pronouns, I will never accept it. I won't.
What if it's a big lunkin bloke with a beard who says my pronouns are she and her?
Well, yeah, obviously I'll accept it because he could probably beat me up.
You say about most seasons as well.
But the thing is, this is the thing is, right? They can tell you what to say, and that's what they want. They can tell you what to say, but the problem is they can't tell you what to think. And the more they tell you what to say, the more people start thinking. So the more they're saying, you say this and you do that, and more people now are pushing back. So we went out on Saturday, right, to film. And what we were doing is we were trying to get people to sign up like a thing without seeing if they just sign this form where people would say comedians should be censored, right? I'd go up to women and girls with pink hair. They would instantly sign. I'll do the same things to guys. And they all pushed back. They were angrily pushing back. And more people are starting to push back. So
what was the question on the form?
So we should
stop comedy.
So we should ban pink hair and facial piercing.
Yeah, what was the question on the form?
No, so I went up to people and went, I don't know if you heard that Sadowitz got cancelled for doing this. We think that, I said, I'm from the UK Comedy Association, and we think there should be guidelines to what comedians should and shouldn't be allowed to talk about. We want you to sign up to say what they can talk about, and these are the sanctioned words they can say. Instantly, women were like, yes. Honestly, women are really easily led. Honestly,
how do you think any of us get laid?
Women, no. Well, that's the place where like they're not easily led. It's like why are you so fucking easily led with all this ideological bullshit nonsense? And it's women that lead religion. You know when you get like
what really?
Yeah, for real. Like even with like totally misogynist
Catholic mums, Muslim mums, Jewish mums, they've all got a lot in common.
Totally.
They're
like
mums.
they're the ones female genital.
Emotional blackmail. That's the
female genital mutilation is the mothers and the older matriarchs driving it. They're like, oh, we need to do it because we don't want people thinking it's she's a whore or whatever. It's like, all religion is driven by women.
But who?
No man's there like on a Sunday being like, oh fucking, let's go to church, let's go down. Unless they're one of the crazy ones. But like no. Like it's women dragging men into this thing, and like because they're worried about.
Listen, I like to blame women for a lot of things, but I don't think we can blame them for religion.
It's women's fault.
There's lots of elements of religion that I don't know if you subscribe to Jordan Peterson's theories.
I subscribe to my theory of not getting addicted to fucking Junior Calpol. Jordan, you fucking wet wipe.
Junior Calpol.
Yeah, he's fucking, I'm addicted to fucking benzodiazepines? What, are you fucking 5? Jesus Christ. Get addicted to some proper drugs.
We all understand the cons that come with most religions.
Yeah.
And some religions are less equal than others. Yeah. If we're going to be honest. I mean, we were talking earlier on about American evangelism and the credit card number flashing at the bottom of the screen, and taking advantage of society's weakest and all of this. A silk suit, Bill Clinton coiffure, big gold Rolex. Send me all your money.
It was the original sort of email scam. That televangelist thing being like, send me money and you'll get into heaven.
But look, I mean, the Filipino Catholic priest who's meagerly surviving whilst trying to look after the old grannies in a neighborhood who might be alone and need his attention and time, and the imam in the local. This happens. Religions also form a classic purpose of bringing society together in some formal fashion, maintaining a sense of community, all these things.
Yeah, it's a social network. I get why people like it.
There you go. But it was a social network that had some kind of ethical mission statement, at the very least, a mission statement.
Yeah.
Whether they apply to it or not, whether people falter from it,
the ideology was there.
But it was there to show you who your neighbours were and somehow make you feel bonded and part of one thing.
Yeah.
As that's dissipated through time, look what it's been replaced by.
Yeah.
And it's most of the things that we complain about.
Yeah. Immorality, and also there's a lot of the wokeism where people have the witch hunts. It's like it's all the worst things of religion. This sort of the guilt, the persecution, the sort of finger pointing, and like castigating and ostracizing people. But there's none of the good stuff from religion, like the forgiveness or blowing up the World Trade Center. There's none of the
which we forgave them for.
Yeah,
because the US government still deals with the Saudis.
Yeah. In fact, didn't it?
And we invented Islamophobia as well to accompany that. But that was the biggest part of the forgiveness. You now can't criticize a religion.
Yeah, that's true.
It's not a race, but it's on the same basis as though you're criticizing a race, which of course is insane.
Yeah,
I've got lots of Muslim friends. I don't subscribe though to the idea that Islam is particularly valid historically as a religion, whether I'm right or wrong.
It's not valid historically though.
Well, as a local, look, I was brought up Catholic. Obviously, I'm a failed Catholic much of the time. Sometimes I'm not. that constant to and fro is probably describes most Catholics on the planet.
Yeah.
But I had a local Catholic priest who referred to Islam as being, it's a bit Mickey Mouse, isn't it? It's it's a bit 500 years too late.
Yeah, because the other religions came first. There's like Judaism, then there's like Christianity.
Sorry, are you saying Scientology is a sham?
Well, it's a little bit it's a bit of a modernism, isn't it?
Scientology makes a lot of sense. Also, ultra Mormonism.
Well, yeah, I don't know if being the first to make up some shit gives it any more validity.
Which I have no issue with, but the point is that the basis of the core basis of what's positive about this stuff is the societal bonding thing.
Yeah,
is the community thing, which is the main basis as to what we would complain about in most facets of society as to what's wrong these days.
And also, by that reason, would that not mean that, like the Greek gods and the Greek mythology is more valid? Do you know what I mean?
I don't know what it was like to grow up in ancient Greece and how much of a bonding, societal, community based,
And sort of films and stuff, it looks pretty cool. But
Yeah.
you never really know if like a film of Elizabeth Taylor from the 50s is an accurate representation. But I think I think the sort of objective morality is also something that's good about religion. Like, you know, I think we could do it like just this week. So I did a video about so Libs of TikTok got banned from Facebook for reporting on Boston Children's Hospital, and man, you got all these like doctors and stuff saying, "Oh yeah, so we're doing hysterectomies on people and this on children and all the rest of it," and it's like, man, there's surely like doing like such life-changing operations as hysterectomies, vaginoplasties, phalloplasties, Cornish plasties,
Boob jobs.
Boob jobs,
Keep them like that.
cutting
Something we
their
can do in and out.
cutting their tits off. There's a new slur. There's a new transphobic slur, zipper tits, because they get the breast removed and it leaves like a sort of zip mark. But it's like this is obviously like, you know, all right for some people.
You know what the worst thing is, right? When I had my back operation done, they take out a rib. So now it looks like I've got zipper tits on my right hand side.
If you're missing a rib, doesn't that mean you can do that Prince?
Not with a dick the size of Darius. At least 3 or 4 that you're going to need to remove.
Although if Darius gets down on his knees and bends over really, really far, he can suck someone else's dick.
But, I mean, but to suggest that means you guys obviously have had experience of Darius's dick.
Yeah.
For all I know, he might be as hung as Genghis.
I've never actually seen Darius's
probably
dick.
the same, but like proportionally, it's not favourable.
I have.
Look how upset he is. Look at his stupid little face. How upset he is about me taking a piss out of his dick, which I've never seen.
You know what I'm trying to do? I'm trying to fucking organise someone else to go and do this gig. So I'm trying to cancel a gig.
Darius, don't blame me. Genghis is like more hung than most humans are. So I'm purposely
Listen,
suggesting
Genghis is also
that you're
less hairy than
as
Darius.
well endowed as he is, which is
my
Ron
penis
Jeremy
is a
kind of.
Listen, my penis is a huge 3 inches, and I'm happy with that. Right? That is I mean,
That's not
13
actually that
inches,
big.
it's
Mine's 4.5. But what gig is it that you're trying to get out of?
Man, I'm trying to get out of Pick of the Fringe.
Oh yeah, man. That yeah.
I mean, I booked it ages ago, and I said I'll send John Cogan. I said, "Oh no, you can close." I'm like, oh, just take John Cogan. So I'm trying to send him now. I'm trying to convince her to say he's there.
Yeah, you got COVID. Actually, no,
I've
you
got
can't use it. No, don't say that because then, like, they'll pull the rest of your shows. Remember when they found out I had COVID and they pulled my shows.
I did a whole tour of the Czech Republic on COVID without realising. And just at the very tail end of the tour. I'm a hugger and a kisser
Todd,
too.
Did you?
Todd,
Did you feel
Todd,
ill?
Hold on a second. I've got important things. Todd, are you a millionaire?
Why?
Do you want to invest
That's
in
a
gas
yes.
bombs? Yeah, do you want to invest in
He
gas
means
bombs?
these. He means these.
Yeah, this is a gas
Should we
this is
do
our
one and
business.
see?
I'm already looking pretty invested.
Yeah. I've done mine. I'm going to need to go get some more shots from the thing. I'm bang up for getting pissed.
You don't eat it. You fucking put it in your mouth and then drink it.
Where's yours?
I did one last night with. I introduced Adam Green and Peter Baisley to gas bombs. They love.
I bet they love them. They're
Also,
two comedians.
I've started doing gas bombs with tequila, and it's much nicer.
Oh man, you know what we started doing?
We did it with gin.
We're doing it with gin, and I got this thinking it was going to be disgusting, but it's brilliant.
I'm going to go grab some drinks from the bar.
I'm dying for a pee.
What do you want? Should we wrap this up and then do the
Yeah, and then do the Patreon only one.
All
right, cool.
Wild shit.
Are you
How
all right
long
for
are
time?
you going to be while I try and sort this gig out?
Oh, should I do a close thingamy, like outro?
Yeah, okay. I'm going to do it like with Darius in your face.
Yeah, that's funny. Do you want to do it, Darius? And with
No, you do it. I'll move my mouth. You
Darius,
do it. I'll
angle-
move my mouth so it looks like I'm speaking, but your voice.
all right, cool.
Speaking, yeah.
Thanks for watching the Patreon. I mean, thanks for watching the regular.
I'm a
podcast.
massive paedophile. I'm a massive paedophile.
He's average height paedophile. But yeah, we're doing the like and subscribe. What do people fucking say? Actually, fuck, I was
Move your mouth, Darius.
yeah, move your fucking mouth.
Like and subscribe.
And also, we're doing the Patreon only one. So if you want to know what we're saying about Andrew Tate, who got cancelled, you got to get on the Patreon one. But thanks for listening anyway. And like,
Darius, you did a terrible job of moving your lips there. So
yeah.
Yes, sorry.
That's what the mooch said after you gave him a blowjob as well.
it didn't happen. All right, cool. Bye.
Bye.